Hello. My goodness. I plan to come on here. It's been a minute. So if I appear kind of foggy and loss of words, really because I am. And today was supposed to be a day of reconnection, and it ended up being a complete shit show, really. And so I hope you can hear me, and I hope you can see me. And I mean, I got, a new microphone, and I'm sorry if I'm a little raspy. I'm just getting over a spring cold here. New microphone, and of course the technology was going to be up and running and new, and I was installing everything. I had everything planned out. Everything was planned out. And I was going to come on a couple hours ago, actually, and recognizing that my personal computer, my TurnLeaf computer, was an app needed to be reinstalled and updated, and that was Zoom. Do a lot of my recordings on Zoom and just upload it and such. That was, of course, not working. Technology wasn't working. I updated the version for all my other devices, but for some reason today on my personal device, not acknowledging at all. Computer wasn't starting. My microphone, I was installing my nice new microphone. Brand new. It's going to be nice and crisp. My voice is going to be there's not going to be any background. It's, top of the line microphone. Couldn't install it. Tried a couple other things, and I said, you know what? I was angry, I was irritated, I was pissed off, and so I tried a couple other things, went on other devices, and I said, I got to get on. I gotta get going here. I wanna speak to my people. I wanna upload a video today. I've got a lot of good things coming up, and I want to talk. I want to chit chat about it. Let my people know, right? Let my tribe know. Device, it wasn't work. Just every little block. And sure, if I wanted to go up to a higher perspective, it's like, well, my good word is being blocked by, higher, darker energies and such. And I just didn't give a shit. I was coming on, that's it. And so even my business account, it was just glitchy. Everything was so glitchy. And as I'm reflecting, and I took a minute to myself, and I'm like, I had plans, like after my recording, I was going to upload it, of course, and then I was going to do a workout, and then I've got a busy night with the kids tonight, and boom, 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 everything just planned out, right? So I'm sitting with myself for a second because I'm going to lose my shit. And I know historically that typically doesn't work, because it just snowballs into something else, and something else happens. And now I'm angry, and now I'm affecting the people I'm around, and I'm in a shitty mood, and they're in a shitty mood. So I was sitting here really just saying, no matter what, I'm doing this recording. I don't care if I have a microphone. I don't care. Everything was just not working. So my personal laptop does have a setting in it for a camera setting, and a recording setting, just nothing attached. You may hear shit in the background. And I just said, you know what? I'm gonna use what I have, and no matter how I expected this video to go, and the quality that I wanted, my expectations of what I wanted. I know I can update my Zoom app because there's a new version out. These things happen. I've updated on my phone, my work laptop, my work phone. But nothing was working. Nothing was working with it. So I said, all right, so what do I have right in front of me? What do I have in front of me? I had to calm myself down because I was livid. It's like this was the day, right? What do I have in front of me today that I can use because I'm getting the recording out? So what do I have? And excuse me, I'm just going to shut off my technology so I'm not interrupted anymore. What do I have in front of me? And I said, oh my goodness, my camera does have, we try to be so fancy with everything that we have here. And we want to appear good, clear. We want to sound clear. We want to, I got all these fancy things that I'm very grateful for because it's going to be useful, especially within the next coming weeks and months. And so you stay tuned for that. Which is coming because, it is what it is. But in today, in my present time, in this moment, what can I use that will allow me to accomplish what I want to accomplish and staying present? And when I did calm and settle myself, I was able, that came in for me. That came in. The answer came in. The solution came in. And then, of course, I judged it. And I said, well, we can't have, I can't connect. My microphone's not connecting and blah, 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 blah. I don't even have earphones in right now. Just nothing. So I'm raw, just raw, technically. And I really, I tapped into that, chimed into that, and actually realized that it was quite a symbolic reflection in that synchronicity of really what that has been looking for me personally in the last, I would say, good 3 months. And really what that looks like is being in today, being in the moment. And that was shown to me so clearly. And I don't have no note. I had notes. I scrapped it all. And I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm talking about it because it's important and it's relevant in this moment. And, much of the reason that, I haven't been on recording within TurnLeaf and such, and I've been busy, of course, with work and life and such. But there was also, as I shared, I believe in my last video, I think it was it might have been beginning of February, just a impromptu video that I think it was in the car, and it's the fact that I've been working on myself, and a lot of shit has been coming up for me in the last couple months, that because I wasn't looking at my triggers and I wasn't looking at my internal self, my beliefs, my programming, really, because we all have it. I wasn't really looking at that. I wasn't sitting in the feelings because a lot of shit, and I'm sure you guys can resonate with this, a lot of shit has happened. Me personally, especially within the last year, a lot of shifts with relationships, a lot of shifts internally, a lot of kind of awakenings, kind of coming to the knowings, and a lot of stuff has been coming up within the last couple of years. And I think this whole pandemic kind of shook everybody in that regards. But I wasn't motivated. I have a goal to have this platform and to share and to connect with with people. That's what I do. I'm a counselor in nature, but I want it to go even deeper. And I wasn't motivated. I was creating a lot of content, of course, a lot of good ideas, but there was just this block, not motivated, all the stories that were coming up for me. It's like, get on with TurnLeaf. What the fuck is your problem? And January was much reflection for me. So I think I spoke even in my last recording, it was no distractions, watched what I put in my body and my mouth. There was no alcohol. There was, that brought up some stuff. And so February came in and I was like, perfect, I'm going to absolutely be more present, with TurnLeaf, with my community. You guys have been amazing who's watching this now and who's followed me on my TurnLeaf my business page. And so kind of holding space and asking questions and private messaging me, lots of private messages, which is great. But stuck. And I'm like, what is my problem? Come mid-February, I'm in a full-blown, like pissed off, like angry with myself, judgment, feeling of failure, that I have failed my desire and my purpose on this earth, in this timeline. And really at that point, I got there was a few days, and of course we all have our days or two that you're feeling low and you can get out of it and you're good. But this was a lingering low vibration of like just judging self and being in shame and feeling like I have failed. And so much was coming up for me there. And I'm not, for those of you who know me personally, and from what I know of myself so far anyways, I've been really good at, putting a mask on. I'm the helper. People come to me. I'm the counselor. I'm the teacher. I'm the friend that you can count on to tell me all. And you still hopefully will feel loved and received, and I hold space for that. But what I really forgot to do authentically is hold space for myself and really looking at that without judgment. And so I had a couple weeks that really turned into, there was no giving to others. I was literally put on my knees and surrendering. And I done this very well, I thought, throughout the last couple years, of course. And I understand now that we all go through, evolution here within stages, and everything that happens to us weeks, months, and years, as you look back, you're like, wow, I thought I rocked it in that month. And you did. I did rock it in that month. I did do some good things in that month. But a lot of the things that I was still doing and not doing was still very much ego driven. And I was still very much trying to control the outcome. What is this going to look like? How is it going to look? And one thing that was really coming up for me is, what are others going to think of me? And what if they don't think I'm enough? And so, for February, for me, and those of you that know astrology and even just, the age that we're in right now, you can feel the energies were just like, because I wasn't sitting in it and really authentically feeling it, I was still in my head. I know the trauma I've been through. I know I've been counseling for years. I have a skill and it's a unique skill. My personality is unique. People gravitate towards me. Tons of great feedback, comments, type of comments that, you save my life. So I'm grateful for that, and I know I have a purpose here. But what I really forgot to tap into is being able to sit in my darkest times. I ask my clients and I ask friends and I spread the word to sit in this darkness. Because if we don't sit in the darkness, there's no awareness. And then we can't give the attention it needs in order to evolve from it. So I was literally on my knees in tears for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I finally, what came in for me, because I have quite a strong intuition, I have quite a strong channel per se for my higher self. I call it my higher self. People call it other things. There's so many different labels, right? But it's that knowing and that guidance that comes in, was this is for you, because I was pissed off, and I was pissed off at the universe, literally on my knees, swearing at the universe. How dare you give this life to me? And I'm smiling about it now, but it was really, really raw in the moment. Really blaming and shaming and really in the victim mentality. I have worked my ass off and done everything right. I have done my meditations, and I work in a field of service, and how dare you not meet me where I've been in gratitude, and I have really just and I've never done that before. And I said it finally, while I was in my rant, I really came to it and said, fuck it. I am in today. I am done. I am done doing what I am supposed to be doing and being the perfect for everyone around me. And really, and I mean, I'm sharing, I'm quite raw right now. But it literally put me on my knees. And I had to get into that place. I had to get into that place of my feelings and getting present in my feelings and really bringing up, because I can talk about my trauma, I can talk about what my journey has been, but to then get to a place where I think something outside myself owes me something, that became my block. That became my resistance. That became a sense of control because of my upbringing, because of my journey. And I call it a journey because I thank it, and I'm grateful for it. But because I have been abandoned numerous times, I haven't been able to sit in that really, and realizing that actually I didn't feel quite safe in life. That was very, very strong for me in February. Therefore, I have to control everybody around me, and control has been a big part of Melissa's journey. And again, for those of you who have worked with me and that know me, I have all the right answers. Right? I want to fix. I want to help. I'm a helper. And when people around me, including clients, were not doing the do's per se, not following, I may have put a brave face on, but I didn't authentically hold space for these people. That's okay, because I understand it now. But it came from a sense of I can't control them. And I always had the answers in my head before they even stopped talking. So was I really in? Was I really in it with them? Was I really holding space? And I'm not saying it was all for nothing. Absolutely not. I know I've done some amazing work, since I've been counseling and since I've been in this timeline here we're hitting like 12, 13 years here. And then don't even count the sessions I've given family and friends and everything like that. And it's not even that. I know I'm a light. I know I'm, I've done some good, and that doesn't go without saying. I give that to myself. But the reason why I was feeling so triggered and feeling the things that I was feeling and not being able to come to TurnLeaf in my authenticity, it was because I wasn't able to stay present. Staying present is only part of it. But then I wasn't able to say, okay, yes, I'm procrastinating. Yes, I'm impatient. Yes, I'm judging myself. Yes, I'm avoiding because I think I might do something wrong. Yes, I have a hard time trusting people because of what my history has taught me. Okay. All right. That's my reality. That's how I'm feeling in today. And as I was really shedding, it was a shedding. I thought I was going nuts. I thought I was fucking going crazy. I'm like, great, now I've got depression. All those labels. Great, now I'm, it's just the stories that come in. But as you go through it, and I'm not minimizing because some of you may be going through this, as I was going through it, it was so painful, so dark. But I had to sit in it. And what came in for me was be with it. Be with how you are feeling. Stop trying to resist it. Stop trying to change it. Because when we change it, when we want to change it, we are in resistance of it. And then we start judging ourselves for what we're not doing and how we should be behaving. And so many different things, A, B, C to Y and Z. And instead of looking at my reality and saying, I am stuck, and how I'm feeling abandoned by the universe. I'm feeling duped. I'm feeling, and everything that has gone on in the last couple of years, I played a really good protectant role for everybody else around me. I forgot to go through my own. A lot of shit has come up for me in the last couple of years. A lot of knowings, a lot of awakenings, a lot of my consciousness has completely different than 2020, 2019. But what I forgot is that, because it's kind of a remembrance, right? I feel like we're kind of getting into this remembrance. And again, if you're looking at a higher perspective, we're on a soul journey. We're on a soul evolution. And if we want to avoid our triggers, and if we want to avoid how we are feeling and what we are being aware of what we are saying to ourselves and the shitty circumstances that we are in, if we want to avoid that and not sit with it and feel it and say everything is okay, and my relationship is shit, and this is just the cards I've been dealt, and I've seen too much shit, and I've been through too much to be fixed. Nobody can fix and help me. So I'm just going to keep on going over here and work, complain, victim mentality, distractions, drink, smoke, have sex, hurt myself, and hurt the others around me is really what's happening. But if we don't start tapping in to what we're feeling in the reality that we're in this moment, we continue to bring up the same patterns and the same experiences. I had to sit with myself for more than half of a day. I had to hold space for myself for weeks. And the theme, the lesson there was, you need to start being present with yourself in the moment. And if you are angry, if you are agitated, if you're sad, if you're confused, if you're not happy in your marriages, if you're not happy in your jobs, instead of running from it, be with it for a second. We want to always fix it. Fix. And what happens is, in the fixing mentality, we're trying to control it. And then we go to judgment and we shame ourselves. How dare you feel anxious? How dare you feel uncomfortable in this social environment? How dare you feel unmotivated for not getting on to your business? How dare you not show up for your purpose? No wonder we're stuck. No wonder we're stuck, and no wonder we're in low vibe. No wonder we're medicated and diagnosed. No wonder we're drinking, and to the point where we just want to numb ourselves completely, and taking drugs, and no wonder. We need to authentically sit in sadness. And if you say to me, and you're watching this, and you say, you know what, Melissa, I've been sad. Now, you're sad for yourself. There's a very big difference. If I sit in sadness, and that's going to keep me stuck. This is different. I'm talking about sitting in sadness, sitting in agitation, not being sadness, not being agitation. There's a very big difference. You are sad. You are experiencing anxiety. You are not anxiety. And when we start to be the observer, per se, start observing ourselves, where we are at, wake up in the morning, do a little checklist. And that was a big one for me. I've started to do this in the morning when I wake up. Check in with myself automatically. How am I feeling right now? How am I feeling? I'm meeting myself where I'm at. Am I taking baggage on from the day before? Am I taking it over? If I'm taking it over, all right. When we try to stuff it and we try to interrupt with the mindfulness and the meditation and the distractions, that's the alcohol, and by all means, I love a good meditation. Absolutely. Helps the nervous central system, really helps with that calmness. But are you avoiding it? Are you saying, that's what I felt, that's what I was doing lots, was I was in a feeling of unmotivation, procrastination, shame, judgment, and then I automatically wanted to replace it and interrupt it with a walk in nature, and it helped in that time. Absolutely, it helped. It definitely helped. But what got quite loud for me in February is because I wasn't Sure, you go in nature, but when you sit with, okay, just as an example, if you're not happy in your marriage, sit with that. That I am not happy in my marriage. I'm happy in my marriage. Believe me, there's been a lot of work with that. Lots and lots of work with that. But if you are in a situation and you can't be present with that situation, you are unaligned with the solution. You are not going to be in alignment with the solution. And you're probably asking, well, okay, I'll fucking sit with my feelings some more. When you're in the victim mentality and you say to yourself, I can't get out of this. This is going to be my life. You're already not in the present. I am anxiety. I can barely breathe. I have panic attacks. And this is just who I am. I've been diagnosed with anxiety and depression. I am medicated. And this is who I am. All right. So now you're not present with it. You're not holding yourself with it. You're actually judging yourself, and you're in the future. You're in the future and saying, I know this is already going to be. This is my life. This is who I am. I'm too fucked up. That's the story you're telling yourself. And when you lose that awareness and being able to sit with it, because you want to avoid it because it hurts too much, you're actually creating more of it, as I'm sure many of you have seen in your life. You're actually creating more of it. And that's on a vibrational level. And if you guys have caught my talk 10 for 30, you'll know what I mean in regards to the physics of it. We're all energy. We can feel the room. We can feel people's attitudes without them even saying a word. Okay, and that's all energy. And so now that I have actually given myself permission to say, all right, I'm procrastinating, sure. Yeah, okay, I'm procrastinating. I'm not procrastination. There's lots of evidence in my life that I've been motivated in. Absolutely. But if I've been motivated, chances are it's because I've released something. I've released a judgment. I've released trying to fix my marriage or my job or my kids or my family members or friends. I've stopped trying to fix and change. And then what happens is I'm actually in alignment to receive experiences, opportunities, and answers. So if you're in a really shitty marriage, and you recognize that, you sit with that, hold yourself. I'm sure you've been through a lot of shit. Don't even include him or her in you being present with yourself, into holding yourself, and sit in your sadness, sit in your anger, sit in your agitation, sit in your helplessness. You have to tap into the feeling, the gut feeling. If you need to cry and yell and bring it down to your knees, accept where you are at in order. We always want a time. Well, when am I going to get the answer, Melissa? When you stop trying to get the answer. When you start telling yourself and accepting you for who you are. I get a lot of trauma, a lot of trauma. The collective in general is traumatized. There's a lot of trauma, a lot of inner child work, a lot of reprogramming. And I've been very busy with my clients, with that, of course, with myself. And it's literally reprogramming what we have seen, what we have been through, what downloads we have received and beliefs that we have received while we were in these traumatic experiences. And then being able to be the observer and putting ourselves back to that moment, that evidence, that scenario where we were hurt, where we've seen some shit, where we've experienced abuse, and being able to hold space for that inner child. And if we don't do that, if we don't sit in these moments, we are everywhere outside of ourselves. We are blaming the past, and we are craving the future. We are in lack of the future. We are in fear of the future. We are in fear of the unknown. And that is it's all trauma response. It's a trauma response. So I've been doing a lot of work with clients with trauma, and just sitting with them and allowing them to express how they are feeling, authentically feeling in the space that they are at today, in the present. We can always link it back to what we tell ourselves. I should have done more. Survivor's guilt is a big one as well. You work with first responders, or our nurses, doctors, even just us as the bystanders. We've seen there's some things that we see in life. We see deaths, we see trauma, and that stays with us. That stays with you, and gets embedded into that central nervous system. And if we don't give it the authentic space that it needs, that time that it needs, and I'm totally getting shivers right now, so somebody needs to hear this. If we don't sit with ourselves and say, wow, what I saw there, or what I experienced there, or what I went through, that's so sad. And feel it, not only say it, but you gotta feel it. Feel it. Because what happens is, because you've attached the feelings that you felt when you were 5, 10, 15, 20, whenever your experiences were, the scenarios were, the traumatic events were, what happens is, the reason why we bring into our adult, or into our life, these downloads per se, these experiences, we tell ourselves certain things in those moments. I could have helped. I should have done A, B, and C. I could have done more. I deserved this because of this. I am this way because I've seen some fucked up shit. Okay, let's sit and talk about it. No, we don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back. I don't want to revisit that scenario. So you're avoiding giving yourself some compassion and some love, and you create more of that because you're bringing it in. You're attached to the emotion of not doing enough in that moment. You told yourself in that moment that I didn't do enough. I get this a lot, even with clients. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of overdoses right now. And there's a lot of survival guilt. And I should have did enough. I shouldn't have. So you attach to not being enough. And you bring that to your stories and your relationships and your experiences throughout the years. So if you had trauma when you were 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, let's say you were abandoned, there was a divorce or what have you, your father or mother left you, or you were abandoned, what's the little ones say about themselves at that time? It was my fault. I said something wrong. I did all these things, all these stories that we tell ourselves. Then we get to bring it into our adult life. Nobody held space for her or him when she was 5 or 6 or 7. Nobody holds space for you when you experienced and saw that extremely traumatic event. And sure, you can go through all the therapy that you want, but you're still lacking something. And many times what you're lacking is the authentic, this could take days or weeks or months. Being able to say, I am sad, I am angry that I survived. I am being able to hold that for yourself. A lot of times, many of our therapists and counselors are missing that part for trauma. And really, because some of these stories are hard to hear. I get it. And so that vicarious trauma kicks in for the helpers. And that's a whole other thing. I'm not going to get into that. But we're missing a very, very big part of being able to be aware of where we are at. Awareness, sitting with it, holding it, crying, screaming, anger, holding it. And remembering that I am not this. I am not this. And then comes a time where you are able to allow it to go through you. Energies, stories, trauma, it needs to go through you. And if you don't allow it to process and go through you, it gets stuck inside. Hence the attachment. Hence the attachment. And that's why I do the release for freedom exercises, allowing it to go through. But this is the forgiveness and the release. It doesn't just come to say, oh, I forgive you for me, blah, blah, blah. That's logic. That's not sitting in your authentic self. The forgiveness piece and the release piece comes with doing the work and sitting with your authentic self in these very, very raw emotions. Forgiveness will come. You can do a workshop. I have my own programs that I do. You can do them, sure. But if you don't authentically sit with these really real emotions and realize that it's okay to be anxious, it's okay to be agitated, it's okay, and then meeting yourself where you're at, the forgiveness is superficial. Forgiveness is on its own time, and you authentically forgive your abusers or someone when you have sat with your authentic self and the emotion and the scenario that's around it. And once we start doing this kind of work, I see life change. I see life changes. Not only I do this work myself, it changes your life, and it really releases you. It really releases you, because you're like, wow, society has taught us a lot to not feel and cry, and how, God forbid, we were taught that these are programs that got instilled in us at a very young age. And so we need to reprogram that. That needs to get reprogrammed. Okay, and that's where I come into place, to be able to open your heart to yourself. You're not going to be able to open your heart to your kids, your loved ones, the collective, your jobs. You're just going to be agitated. You got to open your heart to yourself first. And that means looking at some really nasty shit sometimes, because this is what I'm sure many of you were kind of in this is the awakening. That's what the definition of the awakening is. It's being awakened to yourself and to what your limited beliefs are. Okay, we can't we can look outside of ourselves and give so many examples of what is not going good in the world. Again, another distraction. be aware, and I'll get into that as you know, these weeks and months go on. But what happens is if we are trying to fix everything outside of ourselves, we actually get more sick. We just get more sick because we're not feeling ourselves. Okay? We're not being with and feeling our authentic, raw self and reprogramming that. And that's different for everyone. Okay? But being the observer, sitting up, being the observer and looking at yourself without judgment. And I know this is tough for many. And I'm still going through it. I didn't even realize I was doing it. But the judgment is hard. The judgment is hard. But once we are trying to fix others, once we are trying to create a scenario that is causing resistance and that is actually allowing us, or it is in turn actually creating judgment. Oh, I shouldn't have said this. Oh shit, I shouldn't have done this. Oh, I shouldn't have sent this text. Oh, I shouldn't. What happens is automatically you're judging yourself. You're totally judging yourself, and that stays within you. If you're confused about a situation, be confused about it. Meet it where it's at. If you want something, meet it where it's at, and then take action. But we're missing the part of being able to sit and saying, okay, I'm feeling this way right now. I'm feeling rejected. I'm feeling resistance. Rejection's a big one for the collective. I'm feeling rejected. Okay. And sit with that. I'm feeling rejected. And what can I give myself? What can I give myself that I'm expecting from something outside of myself? What I'm expecting from somebody else? What can I do to give myself that? All right. So I'm kind of going off on a little bit. See, no notes, no nothing, no. It is what it is. I hope my microphone is even on at this point, and if it's not, then this is for me. So ultimately, I'm going to be starting some lives. Okay. What I'm going to do is every Thursday at noon, starting on, I did have it pulled up, starting on the 13th. So starting next Thursday at noon, I'm going to be doing some lives. I'm going to come on for 45 minutes, an hour, during lunch or whatever. I mean, not everybody takes, lunch at noon, but they're going to be called Tough Talks, okay? And I'm going to hold space. I'm going to hold space for that hour. I'm going to take questions. I'm going to, of course, share stories. If you've been following me so far, you'll know that I like to use personal experiences, personal stories. It's not that I even like to do it. It's just, I do it. I do it because I know that through my experiences, you're going through them as well. So I like to share my internal shit sometimes because you guys can resonate with that. So that's what this every Thursday at noon is going to look like. And of course, throughout the week, I may post something, I may, what have you, and that's all great. But I want to be consistent with these Thursdays at noon, starting next Thursday. Just come on and start the conversation. And it's tough talks, so I'm pretty raw and authentic. When it comes to, especially when I'm in flow, And and I'm excited for it because I'm creating a space to allow humanity to come in and share and be heard and listen. And there's a frequency with the lives as well that's a little bit different than the recordings. So I want to be able to tap into that and start that for us. And my purpose here is to spread love and to open up the hearts of the collective, open up the hearts to themselves, and allow for internal evolution. And I do it myself. So you're not gonna get somebody you're not gonna get somebody on the other side here that hasn't been through their own shit and that doesn't know what's going on a personal level. So that's fun in itself. Also, I have been, working hard on a lot of writing, tons and tons of writing. That's therapeutic. I do a lot of writing, but I'm opening up here to doing an ebook series, and that is going to touch on absolutely every topic from trauma to parenting to ascension to, you name it. Everything that I go through personally and that I also go through with that my clients go through. That's the really cool thing about what I do is I have so many circumstances and scenarios that I have heard, either I've heard and I have held space for, or I've been through personally. So I've got a lot of topics and a lot of scenarios that I'm going to put in written form, and I'm going to share it with the world because I do have a little bit of a different approach than your modern therapy per se, your by the book therapy. And by all means, there's absolutely a place for the wonderful therapists that are out there today working their tails off. But my approach is a little bit different than your by the book style per se. Yes, I'm skilled. Yes, I'm trained. I have many years of school and I am accredited and all that fun stuff. But all these letters beside my name doesn't mean shit. It really doesn't mean shit in compared to what comes in with the personal, real, raw, authentic experiences. All right, so that's all coming. I'm going to link. I've got my website still up and running, and then when the content does start to get rolled out, of course, I'll be connecting at least once a week. So you'll hear and be updated on what's to come through the content that I'm delivering. So that'll be fun. There's a lot there. I think I'm up to 16 ebooks at this point. So that's all gonna come. That's all gonna be wheeled out here. But those lives are also an opportunity to be able to kind of get even that 45 minutes, 50 minutes, it's free. It's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be through my TurnLeaf movement page. And so if you're on there, then you'll be able to tap into that live. But it's going to be kind of like you can tap into a mini counseling session. And so that's for you, and there'll be a lot of good into that. So that is that for now, and I'm looking forward. I know myself. Through the shedding that I've even done in the last couple months. A lot of the downloads that come in is you are remembering who you are. Remember who you are, remember who you are, remember who you are. And it's a remembrance, which is really cool. Also, what comes in for me a lot is, they're ready for you. They're ready for you. You're ready for them. and I'm looking forward to that. So there's going to be a lot of juicy conversations because I didn't call it Tough Talks for nothing. So I hope to see you in the live chats starting next Thursday, April 13th at noon. All right, I'll post some links and such. Also, I do have a private group that we can get more personal in, that I monitor in. So you're not so, yes, I get so many private messages, which is great. But a lot of times what happens is even through the private messaging, I do respond in my private messages. Other people will benefit from that. Other people will benefit from the responses. And so I have a private group, and it's called the TurnLeaf Tribe, which I will also link in there as well. So if you want to tap into a personal, not so this is going to go up on the on the business platform, just the front pager here, but I have private groups that are monitored and that are private for these type of conversations. And so I encourage you that if you're enjoying these talks and you're enjoying this vibe, and you're connecting, you're resonating with what I have to offer, I'd highly recommend that you get into the TurnLeaf Tribe private group, and see where that takes you. All right, so I'll leave that there. So happy to reconnect. My lives are gonna be around this time, 45, an hour long. And these conversations, I know I did the talk 10 for 30, and those were even 15, 20 minutes per. We're gonna get a little bit deeper. I'm not even in control of time at this point. At all. Not in control of time, not trying to control it. So if I go an hour, if I go an hour and a half, and I'm going to meet myself where I'm at the time, because what I've got to say, somebody has to hear. So, okay, take care. I'm really sending all the love and all the light to you today and tomorrow. Bye for now.